So we are going to be doing another commentary video today. Seems like you guys really liked the one we did on the Rippin' video a couple weeks back. So today we're going to be doing one on RL's 1985 NFA Flatland run. And this was actually a suggestion from Williston Audio Labs. It was one of the comments that we got down below from the Rippin' video, and this was a suggestion for another commentary they wanted to see. So that's what we're going to be doing today.
I was touring, or that t-shirt we just came out with the airplane on it. Is that 1985?
Yes.
So I was touring with Ronnie Wilton in 1985, and I thought that it was the year after that I started to compete. I didn't know I competed the same year I toured with Ronnie, but maybe I did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this video has actually been one we've got requested a few times, so we figured it's time to do it. Anyways, that's pretty much it. So before we get into it, as always, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy the video and subscribe to the channel. And I guess now we can start the video. Okay, so this is Maryland, first of all, I think you said. Do you know where in Maryland?
Me?
Yeah.
No. No idea.
Do you remember doing this contest? Like, does it sound familiar or anything?
I don't remember competing in Maryland.
Okay, and the channel we're watching this on is Kurt Schmidt. And the description just says R.L. Osborne's Flatland run at a National Freestyle Association contest in 1985. Subscribe.
Figure.
Here's a guy I'm sure you've all heard of from factory Redline. And check out the new Redline 48, R.L. Osborne.
Oh, you got the pink or the purple
God damn.
Scarf on again. So, ooh, what is that right there you just did? Is that lawnmower?
That's a lawnmower. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I feel like we missed a lot already.
I think I wore the scarf because it was freezing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That helped?
Kept me
Is
warm.
that? Did you just make that up by chance?
That's what we're going to go with.
So what was funny actually is in the last the Rippin' commentary, someone commented saying, "Man, I used to wear that scarf to school all the time because I thought it was cool because I saw you wearing it."
Yeah.
And they said they used to get a lot of shit for that though.
You know, you're kind of finding yourself, and a lot of the stuff I did though, like when I braided my hair, I learned that doing things that were out of the norm got really, really weird reactions from a lot of people, right? And that was really fun to watch people, you know, like normal society go, "Oh my God," you know, they get up and stare at you because your hair's braided.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
This was just, I don't know what I was doing, but a lot of the things I did was for entertainment purposes. Yeah.
So so tell them that story about when your hair was braided, people just giving you the funny reactions you got from that.
So that cover right back there.
Oh yeah.
So I had a friend of mine, Kim Bowie. I met her because Chris Rothrock and I used to go down into LA on Crenshaw, and it was all these black girls that ran this hair store. Kim was one of them, and they knew how to really, you know, do stuff with frizzy hair. You know, braid hair in, braid a little bit. They were sharp. If you want to get your hair done crazy, that's how you do it, you know. So we went down there. They were really cool, took good care of us, and Kim and I became friends. And then she sat at my house and braided, you know, individual strands. She, you know, added fake hair, of course. It took her 18 hours to do that.
Horsehair?
No, this was like synthetic hair. There was no reason to waste horse hair or human hair. But man, she sat there and did braids just like that. And then I went to bed and I put it in a ponytail, which became like a rock on the back of my head. And it was really hard to sleep, and the braids were really tight to my head.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it gave me a headache. But I wore it for about 3 days, and I went to the movies in, I don't know, Hollywood or Santa Monica or something. And we walked in and we sat, you know, towards the back, and the whole theater stood up and just stared at me. And I'm like, "What are they looking at?" And she goes, "Well, look at your hair," you know.
And is this the girl that ended up being Povo's girlfriend?
I think Kim ended up dating Pova for a long time.
That's funny.
Yeah, she really liked him. We were always friends, but no, she wasn't in the theater with me though. That was somebody else. But yeah, people got up out of their chairs and stood up and looked at me, and I thought, man, that is so entertaining. That you could have punk rockers with hair with eggs and glue in it straight up and down. That's acceptable. Purple hair, punk rock was in, but braided hair on a white guy was unseen. So yeah, it was fun. It was very entertaining.
Any other reactions? Or is that pretty much the main one or the biggest one?
Pete would always tease me. Pete would always go, is it Milli Vanilli?
Yeah. Peter Gustin?
I hated him at times. Man, he's such an asshole sometimes.
That's hilarious. He'd call you Milli. Yeah, dude,
yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, he held nothing back.
Oh, man. Okay, so is this the hazard yellow? Or
Yes.
what? Yeah.
Yep.
What's written on your butt there?
Set.
What's the deal with that?
Well, I was financially stable. I mean, that was pretty good. I think I was 18 maybe.
Oh, wow.
And I had made investments, and I could walk away and just, I'd be good. Of course, that's not what happened. I decided to keep going, invest in this, invest in that, and then the housing market fell apart, and I ended up in the hole.
Jeez.
Which I had to dig myself out of. I remember what it was. I was like 18 or 19. I had plenty of money behind me. I could quit and just retire. And I stood at my window. I was looking out over the view, and I was talking to God. And I said, this was really dumb. I'll never do this again. I said, is that it? That's it? I'm 19 years old and I don't have to work anymore? And I go, that's the whole thing? That's life? I mean, what am I going to do now? And he graciously granted me my wish, took everything away, and I was in the hole $1 million. And so he's like, yeah, dig yourself out of this one. It should be a good experience. And it was, man. I learned so much that's how I learned a lot about humiliation. And, people are always like, I'm so sorry and everything. I'm like, well, I mean, the money really didn't do a whole bunch. But so, yeah, it was a quite humbling experience, and got out of that. And that's a pretty good answer, don't you think?
I would say so, yeah. Okay, well, I always look at these wheels and they look like 22 for some reason. I mean, the 20-inch from back then look like bigger to me for some reason.
Well, that's an RL22, the bike, and it's got a 5-inch, I think a 5-inch head tube. And
wow.
Yeah, and the neck sits kind of high, so it's kind of a big bike.
I see.
So it does look that. I might have been a few pounds lighter too.
Maybe just a few.
Maybe 2, 3.
You've all heard of from factory Redline, and check out the new Redline 48
set. Oh yeah, it's got the $ and everything.
Yeah, you like that.
Wow. And what does that say? What's your shirt say? Could you remember? I can't really read that.
I have no idea what that logo is. What that's.
Osborne.
But go into that
Redline.
Go into that roll-in where I just.
Born.
What's
Here's a
why
guy I'm
every-
sure you've
right here,
all
stop,
heard of
stop.
from
Okay, just right there, rolling that bike in and stopping. I'd probably fall on my ass trying to do that right now. I mean,
well, yeah. I mean, you guys. That's the thing is, you guys make it all look like so natural and easy to do, and then you try it, and it's like, whoa, it's not how it looks.
so we lived on our bikes. I mean, that's all we did.
Yeah.
factory Redline, and check out the new Redline 48 RL Osborne.
Whipped it around.
Look at that. I think it's no fear on the. Oh, that's an opposite lawnmower. Yeah. So weird how the bike just pops right back up, right?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't do that at all. It just lays there.
Yeah.
I must have put that number plate on a lot of different bikes. I've seen it on a lot of different bikes.
I you were only 18 at this point?
I don't know. Do the subtraction from 1985.
What is that called? That trick?
It's like you're just hopping the little tail whips.
That's cool.
This was a side part, I think.
Is that when you used to fall off like that? Is that like is that embarrassing, or like do you not really care that much?
No one did a perfect run forever.
Uh-huh.
And then I did a perfect run in I don't know what year it was. I finally did one, and I got third.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So
But I was like so tight. All I was thinking about was just don't touch, and it kind of screwed everything up.
I see.
But yeah, touching was very common.
Oh wow, so you have the upper pegs and lower pegs.
Yeah, no, just upper.
Oh,
no
just
lowers.
upper.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Huh.
And just platforms in the back. No pegs.
Oh.
Did you see that?
Ooh, look at that little shake. Were you sponsored by Crayola here, or what are
Crayola.
these pants?
Those are Haro. Those are the.
I thought it was like Crayola.
Wait, where have you seen those? Chevron gas.
Chevron,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the Haro Chevron logo.
Interesting.
But it looked good.
Yeah.
Little track stand.
That's gotta be a hard workout.
And people take note, when you're in a freestyle contest, always have goggles, especially if it's on concrete.
Yeah.
You never know what somebody could throw something at you. Or
Especially when you're indoors too, right?
yeah.
The weather, you never know.
Oh wow.
Do you know, like, what are the names of some of these tricks?
To be honest, I didn't even know I could do this trick.
Whoa. Oh, sick.
Oh weird, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of waiting for showmanship. They're part of the sport.
Was it really?
I was running a freewheel here.
Did they have free coasters back then?
I don't think so, but I would have been riding one.
So you do that in the parking lot a few times.
Yeah, I do it on the pedals now because I got a free coaster.
Hey, that's like the Eddie Fuela.
I had no idea I could get over those handlebars. That was a nightmare trick. I'd always thought I'd clip my toes and just belly flop on the ground. How could how can you bend over and reset your pedals with your hand?
Yeah, what's
I
going
couldn't
on?
get within 3 feet of those things now.
Is that a G-turn?
G-turn. I think there's one thing where I do a G-turn into front hops. It's pretty cool.
Got the bars backwards. What's up?
This is why I wanted a double top tube on the Redline frame, not for the front.
Uh-huh.
Miami Hopper, that looked easy, huh? Shay and I have been talking about this. Shay can do, well, he doesn't go all the way because he has pegs,
Uh-huh.
which is still just as hard. You have to pull it right back.
Yeah. Got the spiders. How would they judge the contest exactly? Like, what were the categories?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see that?
The half-cade?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. You want to
How do
replay?
they? Sure.
Show me pegs. Way!
Like an ankle breaker.
Yeah, geez.
Okay, how'd they judge
Yeah.
the contest?
Yeah.
They judged it on originality. This was funny because I think it was in the runoff. Well, let me start over. Okay, so showmanship, difficulty of tricks, originality, and I don't know what else, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, there was one contest, I don't know if there was one in, it was in California. I don't know if this was one against Dennis, but they said, they came up to me, I got second, I think, and they said, all your tricks were different. They're all new. And we didn't know how to judge you because you weren't doing what everybody else was doing. And I'm like, didn't you say that in the criteria was originality? Isn't that like doing different tricks? And
Yeah.
so, but whatever, they're doing their best.
And they would just rate you on the scale 1 to 10, or how?
I don't know.
They hold up like signs after, like
No,
with the score?
no, they don't hold up anything.
Oh, they just
You
announce
just hear
it at the end.
Yeah,
Oh, wow, interesting.
yeah.
Whoa!
Oops, touched the ground.
That was cool. I think I hopped over it for a second. So that is the hazard yellow one? Yeah. Wow.
I must have had my chain really tight. Wait a minute.
Look how far forward your bars are.
I know, and is that a single cable gyro or a dual cable gyro?
Yeah,
single.
That might be
Single.
that thing that London was.
That was on the other one. The general.
What's this again? Cherry picker?
Yeah.
That seems like it'd be
I think
scary.
Woody came up with the cherry picker. I think it was Woody or Martin, one of those two.
Uh-huh. Wow. You don't mind riding in front of all those people?
Oh, my legs were like butter.
Really?
Yeah, it was like you practice your ass off, you and your friends all week long, and then you get out there and you're riding with all this pressure on you, and it feels nothing like when you're practicing.
Yeah.
We were like, all my friends agreed, Chris Day, Pete Carney, Pete Gustin was there, Chris Rothrock, and so we decided we wanted to get over that whole fear of.
How do you
So
do
we're
that?
like, so the deal was you go out and do your routine in front of your friends, and they can do anything they want, right? They could scream, turn the music off, whatever. And so I go out there and they're throwing cans and bottles. I mean, I'm trying to get through my routine, and it was like boot camp for a
That's
freestyle
smart.
contest. It did no good whatsoever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
Seems like that would help.
But it was funny. I remember Chris Day throwing a can. The bottle came after that.
Did it ever go away after a while of competition and performing, or no?
No, because you practice for months, right? Well, there's 6 contests every other month, so you practice and practice new tricks, and freestyle is already very tedious and technical.
Yeah.
And what was the question you asked me?
Did it ever wear off, like that nervous feeling during it?
Oh, right. Here's what I was going to say. So you go through all this practicing, you fly in, get your bike together, you warm up over on the side. If you're Dennis warms up for like 12 hours. He rides the second he gets there. But I would warm up for a little bit, and then you got 4 minutes. And that's it. It comes down to 4 minutes, one shot. Good luck,
Wow.
It's not like you got 3 motos or you just got to go out there and get it done,
Yeah. And what about when you were touring? Were you nervous about that?
Touring, no. Touring, you got very used to it.
Because you did so many shows.
We did so many shows, and then we'd be out late after we got back. We'd be out late, sometimes no bed, and
Wow.
just go to do a show. And so you learn to perform under any condition, and it was fun. It was good.
So what was I gonna say? Yeah, so it didn't really matter. Like, were you guys worried about how you performed during the shows? Like, because it's like you're not being judged, or was it more like,
Oh yeah,
just because you weren't being judged, it was easier you were more loose?
we were more loose. you know, if we go to a show and like the Plywood Hoods were there, you know, Kevin Jones and all those guys show up, that adds a little pressure, you know. But if we were at the Louisville, Kentucky. Did I say that right? They have a state fair, and I mean there was a few riders that showed up, but it was really just, you know, and we would ride better than we would in contests because you don't feel the pressure.
Yeah, that would
You know
make
what I mean?
sense. That's cool.
But we had a lot of inside jokes like that had happened while we were on the road, and you know it would come over. The announcer would say something, we'd say something. The audience would have no idea what was going on, but we were joking with somebody that was riding, or
That's funny.
yeah.
Okay, I wanted to see this one again. What is this called? Right here. That's
Just
cool.
sliding backwards, real light on the front wheel.
That's cool looking. And then you like lifted the wheel up too.
Yeah, that was probably an accident.
You're so modest.
Put a backwards wheel. Not on the pedals, but a backwards wheel. Look how big that sprocket is. Into a circle? What?
Those elbow guards, are those like the same ones we took those pictures of the other day?
No, those are Haro.
Oh, those are okay.
Those were really good. Good
Yeah.
padding, long, protected your forearms. Look good.
You got the Redline jersey, thermal jersey.
I don't know what kind of jersey that is.
Well, it says Redline on it.
Oh, okay. Well, it's got to have BMX action on there somewhere. That was dumb. I was not a showman. And
Oh, we can watch the cat video next.
I came up with this trick. Backwards infinity roll. Well, I guess it's backwards here on the seat.
Whoa!
Yeah, R.L. Osborne, hiding the red line. Come on, let's hear it for him, R.L.
Come on, let's hear about it. Anything you want to say after watching that? Has that brought up any memories?
I mean, I look at that and I'm like, as when I look at Dennis or Martin or Woody or any ground rider back then, and I go, damn, I had no idea we were doing that stuff, you know? I'm always impressed with old school and how much we accomplished back then. The ramps, grounds, street riding,
Absolutely.
everything was pretty impressive.
What's interesting is it's, you know, seeing what you're learning or relearning now. Like you are relearning a lot of tricks from back then, but you're also learning, like it seems like your style has changed, like the way you're riding today compared to back then.
I know what you're getting at.
No, like it just seems like you're riding more of like the new style of riding. And this is, I would say, obviously old school style of riding.
Yeah, I'm trying kind of a
But-
combination of old, you know.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's a different feeling that comes with every move that you do. And these pros are doing some really cool things, and I just want a glimpse of what some of that stuff feels like, you know.
Right. And honestly, it does, like you say, a lot of this stuff seems relevant to the riding today. It's more just like you said, the showmanship stuff that's been kind of taken out.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so like how did that get started? Is that just kind of like, you know, that's like how things were back in the day?
You know, it's competitive and there's a lot of money on the line for sponsorships, and so you want to win, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody would do showmanship, like, you know, look at the audience and, you know, you nod your head or whatever. But when Dennis McCoy came on the scene, man, showmanship went to a whole nother level because, well, yeah, it was Dennis McCoy. He had the footwork and he was totally committed to his run. I mean, I don't know if he got nervous because he just looked loose and having a good time. The showmanship looked real. And then, you know, you're like, oh, fuck, I guess that's where it's going. So you got to, and I'm not a showmanship guy. I just want to ride, come out, ride, and then disappear, you know? And so he was definitely a master at that.
When would you say, sorry, what were you going to say?
It was just fun to watch him ride, man. So much energy out there when he was on the floor.
Yeah. Dennis McCoy.
Yes.
And when would you say like that showmanship and like like doing stuff like this, or just kind of like the different like antics? When would you say that kind of?
Seriously, when I did that, I'd get goosebumps. I felt so stupid, especially when I got to watch it on video. Man, it's like, but you gotta. It's like acting. I could never act, and so you're kind of acting, and I just can't. I'm not good at that.
Would Pete do stuff like that?
No,
I couldn't picture him doing that.
he might go like. He was frowning, and he would do like his runs were like sliding, and he was just like riding real aggressive, like street riding.
Yeah, I couldn't make. Yeah, that's like, a different image.
Totally different, and no, he didn't do showmanship, but he made sure and let me know all the stupid things I did.
That's what friends do.
Yeah, but he wouldn't miss one, man. I'm like, oh God, I hope I don't have to hear this from Pete. And as soon as I got off the floor, there's
Keeping
Pete.
You in check. Yeah. So would you say like that stuff kind of ended in the 90s when the street style, is that when the street style started taking over in the 90s?
I don't know what year it was. Street came on. There was still freestyle stuff. There was a lot of freestyle stuff going on. But freestyle eventually, this is what everybody tells me, when I was out, kind of went underground, and they kind of just did their own personal thing and didn't want big sponsors and anything like that, which right. I dig. I get that. Keep it personal, keep it kind of pure, and I dig that. I think that's very cool.
Well, and like, obviously I wasn't there, so I don't know, but from what I've seen in different videos and just research, it sounds like it became a thing where the companies weren't paying the riders properly. They were kind of just like keeping all the money that the riders were helping generate for them, and nothing was going back to really the bike community or the riders themselves even.
Well, after my segment in the sport, I know that we went through, or even while I was there, the sport went through a major, it was cyclical. The bicycle industry is cyclical. It goes freestyle, mountain bikes, road bikes, it just, there's all these different things, and it kind of moves in a circle. I don't know what order, but we had a recession, and we also had just completed kind of our first cycle of freestyle. And so all of a sudden it just died out. I mean, like overnight, everybody lost their rides.
Jeez.
And I don't think it was necessarily the companies were just trying to screw the riders. I don't think they were moving very many bikes.
That would make sense.
Yeah. But nowadays, as I talk with...
Well, would you say now that things built back up, maybe the companies are afraid to pay the riders too much, because if things do come in a downturn, they don't want to, I don't know, lose everything.
Crossed my head.
Because isn't that an issue today, is that the riders don't really get paid very well?
I don't know, really. I mean, I hear rumors and things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I got paid really well. And I ran my own tours, and so I had a good thing until Dave Mira came along. And he made more money than I did, when he got big.
Did you guys ever compete against each other?
No, he was I think pretty much ramps, but I mean, he could ride freestyle, but I don't think he competed freestyle. I'm not sure. Yeah.
So who was your scarf sponsor?
Dennis had put something online. I had said something online about I never felt like I was competing against Dennis, because he was just full entertainment. Mm-hmm. I just loved watching him ride, And he wrote back and said he felt exactly the same way. And but what happened this one year was I won the first 3 contests of the year, which had never been done. And I thought I had number 1 sewn up. Now, I won the first 3 contests, and I lost my ride with Redline, right? So I was in negotiations with Schwinn and General. And so I didn't go to the next 2 contests because nobody had won 3 contests in a year. So I figured, I got it. Well, Dennis won the next 2 contests, right? Which was also very unusual. And when we got to the finals, was I on Redline or General? I had to be on General. we got to the finals. We tied for, number one. I had 3, he had 2, and we tied for number 1. And then we had to do a runoff, and the runoff would get the number 1 plate, and Dennis won the runoff. But, again, that whole experience, I was impressed that I knew how hard it was to win 3 contests, and then for Dennis to win the next 2 and come in on top to the last contest was impressive,
Was he just coming in the sport at that point, or was he already established?
He's pretty established. Yeah, he was pretty established, and he was incredible on the ground. But he started when he got into ramps. He was really good on ramps. I mean, really good on ramps. But great all around rider.
It's crazy that him and these other guys like Jamie Bestwick are still riding and like Ryan Nyquist are still riding at the level that they've always, like, it's like crazy. It's like nothing's changed.
Matt Hoffman.
Yeah, Matt Hoffman, all of them. Yeah. It's insane.
I mean, I see guys on. I was watching this video of this guy, and he was older, probably around what I'm at, and
I'd say you're middle aged, buddy.
58 is middle aged.
Yeah, dude.
Once that means I won't make 120.
When you hit
man.
60, then you can say you're older.
Oh, okay, whatever. So, I forgot what I was talking about. The guy. Oh, I saw the guy, right? He's riding. And, man, I mean, I couldn't really tell how old he was, but he was doing a lot of the tricks the new pros are doing. I mean, I was like, wow. But then he fell, and he looked like someone threw a fish into the garage, And that's how, and I laugh because that's how I fall. It's super ungraceful. It's ugly, and it's like, there's just no style to falling at all. You're kind of like a log, And he got back up and started riding, and man, he was doing all the circle tricks. He was doing some insane stuff. So I was impressed. So in other words, the point was he was older because I could tell how he looked when he crashed, and still rode really good. There's a lot of guys out there over 50 that are just ripping.
I forget that one guy's name, but we see him on Instagram all the time on a 26. He rides 20-inch too, but he can do everything he can do on his 20-inch, he can do on the 26, and he's doing like a lot of like this stuff. It's crazy.
Really?
And he looks like an older guy, like in his late 50s, early 60s.
What sport do you have the best riders in the world in their 50s and they're winning? Yeah. What sport?
I don't know.
And you can't say that, ramp riding is a safe practice because it's brutal,
Yeah, I really don't know. It's crazy, though.
Yeah, it makes me proud of the sport and the guys that do it and that are really good over 50 or even 40 or 30,
That's good.
I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you got dropped by Redline? Or what? So what was the deal with that?
He told me that the salary wouldn't be anything like it was. They weren't selling as many bikes,
And that was because of the downturn in the economy and industry.
Economy and the bike industry was just, I guess it was very going through its first cycle, but also I think Nintendo was coming in and a lot of kids were going to Nintendo. The industry just stopped. I mean, it was like crazy. And so, I don't know all the details about Lynn. And I had other offers along the way. And so I started checking them out, went to a show, and I felt like a wounded lamb walking into that bike show, no sponsor, nothing. And I had 2 companies that were really interested in me. That was a very humbling experience, and I felt very fortunate.
So it was an amicable separation from Redline.
Oh yeah, there was no hate, no bad feelings. Mm-hmm. The last video I saw on Linkcast talking about the RL20 wasn't the best video I've seen. That kind of irked me a little bit, but yeah, who knows,
Yeah.
It was funny. We all wore uniforms because we came out of BMX. I came out of BMX. I was racing BMX at 9. And I'd been on anyway, so we all wore uniforms, and so we figured that's just the way it is when we came into freestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But not Pete Gustin. Oh my God, he had his shaved head, and he had shorts that were like all flamed with skeletons and a t-shirt, right? And he'd go out there, and I'm like, man, what an idiot.
Oh my God.
He looks so dumb. And that attitude that he had is what became the attitude of the sport. No showmanship, just riding and doing your thing, wearing whatever you're most comfortable in. Eventually, the whole sport went that way, you know? And, but the first times was like, he was going against the grain so heavy. And he ended up changing the sport, you know? Yeah.
And did he come from BMX? Do you know? Did he do any racing?
I don't know. He was just a hardcore rider. But Pete, just so you know, those flame shorts with all the skeletons, I hated those things. Orange with black shorts from, I forget who made it, Life's a Beach or something. God, I hated those shorts. But
that's funny.
But yeah, but the thing was, he's wearing what he wanted to wear.
Absolutely, you know? Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be doing more of these, and like we were saying, this was one that was recommended to us in the comments section actually by Williston Audio Labs. So definitely keep doing that, you guys. We and if you can send us the link, that helps a lot too, to the video you want to see us do. Another one that was requested was the Scotty Cranmer video of him and Maddie, I guess, learning the was it the Miami Hopper? Mm-hmm. And they gave a shout out to RL. And who invented the Miami Hopper?
Well, we can, as soon as we say this, I'm pretty sure I was in Miami. And I think the guy's last name, his name was Paul Hopper, or his last name was Hopper. And so I called it the Miami Hopper because he was the one that invented it. This guy that wasn't even sponsored did this trick. I see. You know? And so I think it's his last name. Okay. I don't remember his first name.
Yeah, so that might be, that could be the next video we do, but we'll see what you guys recommend or send us links for. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And other than that, I guess we'll see you guys next time.
I gotta say one more thing.
Yeah.
Our last video that we did together was about the movie Rippin', right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me set this up. We were riding, or Ronnie Wilton was in that video, and he's riding either Tough Wheels or Peregrine wheels, right? They're plastic wheels. You couldn't run high pressure on those things. The tire would blow right off. You know, they were plastic. And I don't think we'd keyed into high pressure yet. But he still pulled off, an 800. So he's rolling backwards, and he spins an 800 and just rolls out of it nice and smooth. In 1985. Man, I can't tell you how impressive that is. Yeah. So go back, if you get the chance, go back and check the Rippin' conversation that we have and watch Ronnie do that 720 and just watch how smooth he is. You know, it's incredible.
Yeah. And again, we were watching this one on Kurt Schmidt. That's the name of his channel. So check him out, subscribe. He's got a lot of good videos on here. And we appreciate him uploading the video to YouTube so we can watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, and thanks to Chris and Wheezy Jermaine.
Oh, yeah, Jermaine. Oh, yeah, you got their shirts on. Shirt on.
Thank you for this. It's a nice shirt. I like it. I will wear it.
Yeah.
And we got the stickers, too. So
yeah, where is this?
We appreciate that.
I have them over here somewhere. All right, guys, so that wraps up the video. And we'll be doing some more commentary ones soon, so be on the lookout for that. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right, guys, have a good one.
Peace.